Hey, y'all. It is Zaylee. Today we are talking about content. Okay. It is almost the end of 2025, and content is heavy on everyone else's mind right now because we're all thinking, oh my gosh, it's 2026. How am I reevaluating my life? How am I changing what I'm thinking about creating or doing? We're thinking about all the things. Anyone thinking about, your content strategy, what you are excited about doing when it comes to your content, let me know in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. I'm on both YouTube and Instagram. I think I'm on Facebook too. I forgot to check. But yeah, just checking in with you guys to see how are your content plans going for 2026? Are you planning yet? Have you started thinking about this yet? Are you reevaluating what last year was like? Last week, inside of my membership, we sat down, like everyone sat down and figured out, like, okay, let's tap into what last year held for all of us, right? And I want to know if you have been doing that in your own business as well. So let me just check in and make sure everyone is okay. Let me make sure I'm live on Instagram. Hey, y'all, if you are watching or if you're watching the replay, definitely say hello. I love knowing that you guys were watching. So definitely let me know if you are. Okay, let's talk about it. Sometimes content can feel so confusing and, like getting your footing together can feel so confusing. And this is something I hear from my people all the time. I hear things like, Zaylee, like, no one is going to want to watch. I'm everywhere when it comes to content. When I create it, no one is really watching. Just all of the things are happening, right? Maybe it is that you have so many ideas, you don't know what idea to start with first. You don't know what people might want to see from you first, or you know that you have 5 video ideas and everyone wants those ideas, and you are just overwhelmed when you think about all the moving parts. What should I create first? What do people want to watch? And also, let's combine that with, okay, people might want to see this, or I don't want to create that just yet because I need to get my creative juices off. I want to talk about this because I know it can feel heavy when you start thinking about all of the content ideas and honing in on one idea, and then layering that with the algorithm. Will this video do well? Will people watch? All of those things. I want to talk about how to actually ground yourself and create something, because a lot of us are thinking about all the things, and I just want you to commit to creating something, even if it's one thing, and then you can create all the other things, right? Let me know if you guys can hear me if you're watching. Hopefully you can. I think my audio is um okay. I think so. I think you guys can hear me. So whenever I feel overwhelmed about content and I'm like feeling frustrated and I'm like, well, what do I like? Where do I start? How can I start something and create something, learn from it, and then continue going? The first thing that I want to do, okay, Rio said he can hear. The first thing that I want to do is ground myself, right? Of course, we want to sit down and write down all the ideas that we are having that is flowing. For me, I do that in my planner that is for content only. Hey, Brenda, thank you for letting me know. So, this is my planner for content, and I will sit down and write out all the ideas or all the things that are happening. So, one good way to get present is to check in with yourself and ask yourself, what's happening? What's going on? Because we all know that content is a conversation that happens, right? And I think a lot of times we start thinking about all the things that we think people want from us or all the things that we want to create, and we never check in with ourselves. And that is one reason why your content might be feeling detached, disconnected, or inauthentic. And when it comes to content, content is a conversation that you're having with someone else on the other side of your lens. So, the first thing I want you to do is ground yourself. Sit down and write down your ideas. Get your ideas out of your head. Write it down so that you are able to then feel like, okay, these are the ideas that I have. But also, other than that, hey, Labia, this is how I feel. This is what's going on right now. So sometimes you guys will see me come on and create content, and I am literally sharing with you just a good bit of grounding content, content that actually reflects what I'm going through, what I'm thinking about, what I'm feeling, but I never position it as, or I don't always position it as, this is what I'm going through. I position it as a lesson that you can actually learn from. So if I'm going through something, for example, let's be really transparent. This live stream, I was going to say, is sponsored by my brain, right? So it means that today I am in the process of doing so many things, and I'm like, okay, what can I create today? And I started thinking, I have so much that people want from me, things that I want to create, things that I'm excited about sharing, things that people are excited for me to share based on questions, emails, DMs, and all of that we get, right? And I was like, man, I don't know what to create today. Right. And so the first thing I did was I had to ground myself. So I have to catch up with myself and be present with myself, but I can also observe myself and see that this is a lesson for someone else who is probably going to watch, or who is probably feeling the same thing that I'm feeling. Right. So I'm like, okay, I wrote down all of the ideas that I have, all of the things people are asking me for, and all of that. But I also need to ground myself and have a baseline to create from in a way that can also benefit you. That is easy content for me to create. So even if you're sitting here today, and you're thinking, well, I don't know where to start, start with asking yourself, well, how do I feel? Or what am I feeling? Or what am I processing? And how can I connect that to something that, someone in my audience is struggling with or trying to figure out or understand? Because a lot of times we are a version of our audience, right? We're just on the other side of the problem that we solve. So if you are a hairstylist, right, and you feel like, you know, um, you don't feel that great today, you don't feel confident today, and you sit and you ask yourself, well, why don't I feel that way? Maybe your hair is not done and you don't feel really confident and great when your hair is not done. And so you can also relate that to someone that might be sitting in your chair, right? So, what can you find today that you can ground yourself in and share from an honest and authentic place? A lot of us are overthinking content, and content can come from such a beautiful and honest place. It does not always have to come from, um, some kind, it doesn't always have to come from Chat GPT, number one, because you are the source as well. So I want you guys to remember that. Hey, Siobhan, hi. And so that's something that I want you guys to think about. I forgot that I am live on Facebook. But yeah, so I want you to just remember that your content can come from a place of present, or where you are presently, and finding the lesson in what you are processing presently that you are able to then share with your audience, right? And there are so many other ways to be present. This, you can document something that you're currently going through. You can share, um, something in the form of b-roll, and you're doing a voiceover with that content. It doesn't even always have to be front facing. It can be a live stream like I'm doing today. Like I literally told you guys, I have so much content to create, and for me, I work by my cycle. So right now, I know I have a bunch of things that I need to create within a specific time frame. And sometimes it gets so overwhelming and I'm so excited that I don't create anything at all. So today I had such a long day because I'm still unpacking, I'm still packing the studio, I'm still putting things in places. And so I could have told myself, I don't have anything for the people, versus grounding myself and being present and realizing, oh, this is what I'm struggling with. I've been here before several times. I've solved this several times. Let me share my process for doing it with you guys, right? So you want to ground yourself there. Be present. That allows for you to be even more authentic. I want you to remember that. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, so I have my list of things that I'm going to write about. I got my rep in. That's the thing that I want you guys to think about. A lot of us are not creating or putting videos out there, or sometimes, we've lost momentum or motivation to create. And it's because we're thinking that the next thing that we do has to be this big, massive project, when in reality, you just need to exercise your brain and your speech. Hey, Miani, right? You just need to do something. You need to put something out there. And that thing does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be the best thing on earth. It just needs to be done. So it's really also about getting activated and getting back into the game. Let me give you an example. Sometimes I haven't been to the gym in a while, and it just takes me going that one time, even if it's not for an hour, even if I go walk on the treadmill for 25 minutes, at least I did it. And now I've proved to myself that I can do this. And so, I feel good about it. I'm getting into my stride. And, that one thing allows for me to realize, oh, it's not that difficult me going to the gym. Or, oh, okay, so maybe next time or tonight I will put my clothes out so that I can jump into it and get out. Or maybe it means that I got to make sure to set an alarm to go to the gym, but I already did this one short session and I'm feeling really good about that. So, I can go tomorrow again and I can get into the stride of making this a habit. So, I want you to think about that as well. Like, get something out there, get something off. It does not have to be perfect at all. You just need to get it out there, right? So get activated is what I mean. So all right, so we have our list. We've gotten activated because we became present and authentic and we put something out there. Now, what is the next thing? I know a lot of people struggle with this part and I want to talk about it for sure. You don't have to be Steven Spielberg. Okay? You don't have to be Ryan Coogler. You don't have to be like the best artistic director out there. Get something out there. Find something that is easy for you to use. You guys know I love me some cameras. So, of course, I'm surrounded by them. Whether it is your Osmo Pocket 3 that you are like, okay, I'm going to use this, right? Of course, it's not picking up right now. Or whether it is your Insta360, your Go Ultra, right? Whether it is this or that, or I have other cameras around. Maybe it is your cell phone, right? So you have to think now, like, what can I just pick up and record with? You guys know I love the Hollyland microphone because it's so easy to just plug into my phone. It even works with your Osmo Pocket. Isn't that wild? Like, it's one of the most universal microphones that I use. I even use it to go live sometimes. And so I know the tools, like my activated toolkit, my easy content toolkit that I could just put it together. I know what that is for me, and you need to figure out what that is for you, because a lot of us are letting the tech stop us from going live or creating content, creating a video, publishing on YouTube, because we are thinking so big and cinematic that we are letting that step stop us. So even as I'm speaking, I want you to look at all the elements that I'm speaking about and identify which one is it for you. Sometimes the thing that's at the end of the workflow itself, which is probably editing, is probably tripping you up. Or maybe it is not even editing and it's publishing because you're afraid of what people are going to say. So, what part of the process, of the creative process, trips you up the most? That's a great question for you. So, usually for me, my husband edits, right? He is like, when you see simple edits, that's me. When you see things zooming in and out, like that's him, right? And so sometimes he's busy and he's not able to edit for me. And I'm not creating because I'm thinking, damn, I can't get things edited as quickly as I would want, right? So, like what is that like? So it's funny because sometimes before I start creating, I'm not identifying that thing, but as soon as I identify it, I can tell myself, "Oh, wow, that's why you're not publishing." Okay, so my solution for that is going live. If I know that I can't get things edited as fast as I would like to, I just know, "Oh, okay, girl, that's the issue. Go live." Because if it's live, it's easy for me to pick a topic to go live about. It's easy for me to then, find a title, create a simple thumbnail. I want to talk to you guys anyway. So that's one of the ways that I would bypass that. My goal is to get to publish. because that is what is very important for me. So, find out what part of the workflow is stopping you or tripping you up a bit from publishing and putting content out there. Sometimes it's the idea or conceptualization of the idea. You probably have no ideas or you're overwhelmed with the amount of ideas you have. Maybe it's not even that, and it is, you know, the recording process. Like, I'm afraid of my camera. I'm not a techie person. I hear that from my students all the time. So figure out if it's that part that you're struggling with. Because I have people that tell me, well, Zaylee, I have so many ideas. I have video scripts, I have content, I have blog posts that I could make videos out of, but I just can't do the video. So it could be that this is the issue, right? Meaning that you're afraid to put the content out. You're afraid to record because you're thinking about tech. Another part of that process of production could be, I don't like how I look. So you need to figure out and identify what part of the process trips you up. So when you identify it, then you can begin to find a solution for it. But a lot of us don't know, right? Hey, Stash Cash, finally caught me live. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me see. Usually I can drop my, here you go. Usually I drop your comments on the screen, but I appreciate that. I appreciate you for being here, and I'm so glad you caught me live as well. But yeah, so you got to figure out or identify like what part of the process is tripping me up. And you have to then realize, okay, this is now an opportunity for me to learn something. What am I not learning here, right? Like, what am I struggling with learning specifically? So, I remember a few years ago, I'm so used to long form content. I love long form content. I love going live. I love YouTube. I love podcast episodes, and I love digesting them. And I also love creating them as well. And so I was not when short form first came out, I was so against short form content, and I had to be self-aware and ask myself, well, girl, why don't you, like what's your issue with the short form? And so I think it was just ego. I felt like it was distracting. And then there was a time where I was not using short form enough. Like I just felt like how much could you give to somebody in 60 seconds? Or remember there was a time where it was 15 seconds. Obviously now I use all these aspects of content, right? So or these formats in my content strategy, but I really had to ask myself like, why are you so against this? And it came down to, oh well, you're not flexing it enough, you're not doing it enough. So this is something that I need to be self-aware to learn. Now I love short form content, I still love long form content, but I also see the benefits of doing both long form and short form. They have their place in my ecosystem. So you have to figure out like, okay, so why, what is, when you go to therapy and you're like, well, why is this triggering me? Well, why is this triggering me? Like, so obviously, understanding or learning and understanding things like that was so helpful, because I was able to identify like what my issues were when it came to it. And then when I realized, okay, so I got to get into short form some more, I realized, okay, so I got to get really good at editing short form. I got to get really good at making sure my clips are 3 seconds, or I got to get really good at a hook. Years ago, a hook was not really a thing. So there was a lot of learning that came with short form. And so it's about you identifying your goals and realizing, in order to reach my goals, these are the things that I need to identify and begin to execute on. So, Stash Cash said, I create short form content. I love it. I love telling stories in a short period of time. I know. Like now I'm totally into short form, and I actually really love it and love publishing it, especially on YouTube. I feel like right now YouTube is in such a great place for short form. And YouTube is personally my favorite platform. I love YouTube and Instagram. And also finding my love for Facebook back again, because I have not been on Facebook in so long, but recently I've picked it back up. Like, it's really about being open. I think a lot of us, when we begin to create content, we're so rigid about it. I have been creating content for more than 10 years, for such a long time, y'all. And but I've been full time for 10 years in my content creation and business journey. So these are things that I really, really enjoy doing. But even as someone who's been doing it for so long, there's always something new to wrap your head around. But based on my goals for my business, it's always things that I need to learn and identify and, rework and relearn and all of these things. Back in the day, you had to be so good at editing, and I became really great at editing. And then things shifted with editing. You needed to start to edit for retention and having people pay attention. And now we've come back around. So that was during the pandemic where you had to keep everyone's attention because there was so much more happening on the platform. So obviously I was a creator before it was cool being a creator, if that makes sense. And so, because of that influx during the pandemic, you had to learn to edit for retention. Like you needed to keep people's attention and make sure they were staying on your video and all of that jazz. And I feel like now we everything is changing and again, and we're in a time where people are tired of all of those things. Like they're tired of that. So now it's about finding now it's about storytelling and retaining people via storytelling, which can be just much more easeful. And yeah, things are always changing, y'all. Yes, I had 10 years. It's been 10 years, which is actually what 10 years full time. But yeah, I could sit down and like count how many years I've been online and putting content out there and publishing, it's actually crazy. It's probably maybe around 17 years. I can't remember. I need to sit down and think about that. But yeah, full time, I've worked for myself for 10 years creating. I just started 8 months ago. You're in a great place. It's so much different now, anyway. I think now people actually understand. It's so different. Back then, people didn't know what a creator was. I mean, even in what I was doing, I'm sure my family was like, what the heck are you doing? Or what the heck is this? So, but now, we all know what being a creator is. It's no longer a question or what do you do? Because I used to get those questions a lot. And obviously, we've cycled through different things being popular, but I've taught video or being on camera, being confident on camera, using your camera, video content, video setup, video equipment for 10 years, y'all. Okay. So back in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, I was the person telling you video is going to change and evolve, and it completely has. I was never lying. I knew it was going to be what it is today. So that is why I started doing the work that I do because, I knew that I knew what was going to happen. And don't ask me how I knew that is God, okay? But I just knew that was going to happen. I just knew it was going to happen. So I wanted to come on and just help you understand a way that you can begin to get present, think about your workflow, think about what is stopping you when you are creating your content. And think about like just what you can ground yourself in, especially when it comes to authenticity, because that is really important as well, right? Let me see, y'all. I just want to go back to make sure that I kind of covered what I wanted to share with you guys. Um, Okay. Let me see. Yeah. I feel like that's really what I wanted to share, just so that you guys can kind of ground yourself and um start thinking about things like that or start thinking about content like that. Let me see. Stash Cash said, I just got the question of what do you do today? Yes. Okay. Yeah. I remember back in the day, they would be like, what? Okay. Or even I like to remind people there are so many different ways to make money online. And so I had a YouTube channel. I don't have a large YouTube channel, but I've definitely made a lot of money from my YouTube channel, right? So it's also about working strategically as well. And so sometimes people don't understand that. Like it's really interesting. So But that's the power of putting yourself out there and being visible. So it's something that I will always advocate for, putting yourself out there and being visible. Hey, Gary, how are you? How are you, friend? What's going on? Anyway, y'all, I'm not staying too long because I have a few things to get done. And tomorrow, if you have not joined the Spotlight Studio, or if you are in the Spotlight Studio, which is my membership, it's my private community for people who are looking to take this seriously and level up. We're going live tomorrow. We're doing our live Q&A tomorrow, which I'm so excited about. People are already inside of the community asking questions, sharing their setups and all that jazz. And so tomorrow, we are going to dive deeper into people's setups. So I'm going to be looking at everyone's setups. I'm going to be going through the questions in the community so I can answer you, which is why I created a space where we can go live privately so that I can focus on helping you guys. So that is going to be pretty excited. Crafting videos. What do you mean, Gary? Crafting videos. Did I talk about crafting videos? I probably did. I be yapping so much when I get onto a live stream. But yeah, what are you speaking about crafting videos? I want to know. Did I say something wrong? Let me know. Let me know. Oh, and if you are interested in your crafting videos, gotcha, friend. I'm so excited for you, Gary. I know your stuff is gonna be fire. If you are interested in the Spotlight Studio and you are on Instagram, just comment the word Spotlight and I'll send you over the link to join us. Tomorrow's our first live stream. It's our first Q&A and it's going to be fire as usual. It's going to be a vibe. Y'all know how I do everything that I do. I pour my heart into it. So I can't wait to meet you guys tomorrow, to see who's doing what tomorrow, and to get you up and running for 2026 so that your content is the last thing that you're worried about and so that you're actually enjoying the content creation process. And creating content does not have to be difficult. Okay, it can actually be something that feels authentic, genuine, fruitful, enjoyable. Like I literally enjoy creating content. So it does not have to feel heavy or overwhelming or annoying, especially if you're looking to move forward and change your life in the next year. You can do it. Visibility is key. It is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. So, y'all, if you have any questions about Spotlight and the Spotlight Studio, send me a DM and ask me, hey, is this for me? I'm happy to answer that as well. All right, y'all. I appreciate you guys for watching. Yes, Brenda, let me know if you are interested. It's such an amazing experience and you get to work live with me. So that's what I'm really excited about. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know, y'all. I love you guys and I will talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And if you're watching the replay, let me know if this was helpful in any way. I'm about to drink some coffee at 6:41 p.m. so that I could finish unpacking the studio and getting ready for class tomorrow. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, y'all. All right, y'all know I always struggle to end this thing, so let's see. Let's see how that's gonna go today. Have a good night, y'all. Take care.